Profiler Tones and Talks, Episode 3. My name is Tom Wendt, and I'm here again with Mr. Thomas Dill. Now we're looking at episode 3, and that's, we're in like Daniel Craig. No, it's more like Sean Connery in swimming briefs, running around the beach, and there are palm trees and there are coconuts and stuff like that. That's at least what the tone created in my mind. These are the pictures, the track created in my mind. So it's the 50s, definitely. So Thomas,
for me, it's more 60s,
60s. Okay,
swing 60s. This is the basic tone. And the concept for this one was to have a basic 60s style, groovy, funky sound, and getting it more and more distorted and really evil, sounding like a broken amp, so that the amp blows off at the end. And you can do that with some special effects in the profiler. And we're starting from scratch. I will share the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are, and turning all the effects off, listening to the amp profile. It's a clean sound. It's not the Fillmore sound. It's a Tweet Deluxe, a profile which I made from my hand-wired Tweet Deluxe, which is sitting right above me. And it was just a test, an attempt to profile it, and it turned out to be sounding really good for clean sounds. But this is just the basic. The second thing to get these 60s sound is the spring reverb.
Mm-hmm.
This is crucial for all those 60s sounds. And I used the setting from Spring Reverb, the Spring Fan. This is the preset I used. I think I didn't change anything. Mm-hmm. And this is created by, inspired by these old Fender Spring tanks. There is, I don't know how it's named, but it's these Fender Spring unit. Mm-hmm. And it has this nice tone. This clack tone. Very important for that is the parameter drips tone. So if you turn that off, it sounds half as good.
Mm-hmm.
With the drips tone at the middle position, you get you get more special sound. So this is very important for that sound. You can turn it very far to the right at +5.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's for me it's too much. But if you want to have a really crazy spring reverb sound, turn that on. So this is the main part for the sound. And another thing is I turned the volume down on the guitar just a bit to get a thinner sound. And then I took the Kemper fuzz to create a more thin sound with very less drive.
Mm-hmm.
The sound gets thinner and gets more vibe. Now it's off. Now on.
Mm-hmm.
So the fuzz for funky sounds, it's great to use that. And just a little bit, And another thing, if you have just turn the rig manager off now here, when I play those single notes on lower strings, so when I have the volume on the guitar turned turned up, very up at 10, it's too much distortion for that sound. I need to turn it back. And if you listen to the amp only turned on, it sounds a bit woolly. It sounds too much bass and not thin enough. So if you like to play with single notes, just check it out. Turn the volume a little bit down and turn the fuzz on. And now you need to try that. The play feel is way much better. You can really play better in time and everything when the sound is a bit thinner. And that's, for that sound, very crucial. So this is the advice for the clean, funky sounds. Now I will share the screen again and distort that sound. The first one is called wah rate reducer. You see the screen?
Yes, I do. Yeah. Wow, rate reducer.
A bit like a ring modulator. And it's so great to have that when you play one note.
It has a little bit of this typical 8-bit video game.
I don't know what Christoph did here. It's just these are the settings: manual 2.4, peak 7.5, pedal range. It's just fixed on touch, so it reacts on my playing. And a little bit ducking is on, so that when I'm playing, that the effect is not too loud, so you hear the played notes. The next one that comes in, this is the guy who makes everything really weird, is the bit shaper. And oh, wait a minute, turn it on. This is how it sounds like. A bit more distorted, and the bit shaper is great for some solo sounds. Always with long notes.
It's a little bit like there's some kind of synthesizer coming up after the destroyed guitar tone. Then there's this synthesizer-like thing.
It's just if you like to have some weird tones, some really crazy guitar tones, take the bit shaper, because it's really unique, this sound. I've really had a lot of effect pedals for reviews and everything. You see some of them behind me, but I never had one like a bit shaper. Yes, one pedal tell me. Without the fuzz, sounds great too. Dirty, gritty sound.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, are we talking Jack White here, or are we more talking like 70s krautrock, sound experimental styles here? But definitely something that's special. And in a way musical. I mean, John Frusciante, the guitar player with the Chili Peppers, is known for his tasty stuff, and he's using some weird pedals and Moog pedals and stuff like that, and that might be something he could dig. And he comes always up with the weird musical stuff, which sounds nasty, but in the end is very musical. It fits the song and makes it interesting.
Yeah,
and that's always the thing. It's a little bit more outside the box, which is
so
good.
So much guitar solos or guitar parts with usual guitar sounds. Every guitar player is looking for this great high quality guitar sound, the Dumble or the great Marshall tone, and everything clean and not clean sounding, but polished sounding. And if you have a solo or guitar part just with these unique sounds, you get hurt very much more than with the usual sounds, because everybody knows these usual sounds. So that's what I'm looking for when I'm recording, getting some tones that cut out.
Yeah, that's true. And it's already in the how would you call it? The history. I mean, Jimi Hendrix did some weird stuff with the fuzzes, and this reminds me a little bit as well. And then you're already in that ballpark, but with a special thing which you make it your own a little bit. And I don't know the track anymore, but Dave Stewart was always good for using a distortion pedal and playing it directly into the mixer for some Eurythmic stuff. And that happened a lot in the 80s as well, when the pop producers didn't care so much about that perfect guitar tone, but to have something special and creative. So
solo of the Commodores, easy.
Yeah, that's also a little destroyed.
It's I think they recorded that directly into the desk with a fuzz pedal in front of it. It sounds like that.
That was not the Commodores. It was the cover version of
Faith No More.
Faith No More. Yeah, right.
but I'm talking about the Commodores, the original.
The original has this already?
Yeah,
really?
yeah, it's the same solo.
Okay, I thought it's
this one with I think they recorded it directly into the desk, and the guy from Faith No More played the solo much one-to-one like the Commodore solo.
Okay. Interesting. And yes, of course, here we go again. This is some special tone that that creates a completely different musical and acoustical sonic environment, where you can impress the listeners. Maybe some would not like it. It's like adding too much lemon into a drink or something like that. But it definitely wakes people up. And there's this interview with Sting and Rick Beato, where Sting said he's always looking for some that he wants to be surprised at some point from the music, and that's difficult to achieve these days, because basically everything has been done. But to put these sounds into classic guitar-oriented music, that might be a special treat for the audience and the listeners, and for yourself as well, because the juicy, chunky, hearty, distorted tone that invites you to shred. That's really nice. But if you put a fuzz into stuff, and everything becomes much more stiff, and you need to work much harder with your pick to get the notes to hold, and your phrasing must be completely different to create some kind of legato that lead you to different playing. You would play different tones and stuff like that. So that's also a healthy thing.
Yeah, and of course,
I think
using effects in a different way as you think you should use them. That's the one with the fuzz. I didn't thought about using the fuzz for this funky sound. I just turned it on. It started to get a distorted tone. so when I was creating this track, I just wanted I do the broken tone, I turn on the fuzz, but then it led me to get this thin sound with less drive. And another thing is where guitar players sometimes don't think about or are really afraid of using a lot of reverb. So the spring reverb is crucial for that sound. It's creating this atmosphere. So without the spring reverb, nothing. Turn it on, and you can play less because you have this sound going on, and it's filling. Yeah, and it's making dirt. So without this spring reverb, and of course, when I turn the spring reverb just the level a little bit down, it doesn't. The level is at 60%. I've just turned it to 13. Nothing.
Well, I won't say nothing, but it's a completely different world.
Yeah.
When you have that spring reverb on and you play, I'm this weird, maybe visual person, and I know the pictures and the movies, and I see completely different clothing. I see, 60s surroundings. That happens immediately when you play this tone with that reverb. It's so era defining. It's incredible.
It's the sound. It's really the sound that makes this line. It's a simple line, but the sound leads you to that point, and this is very important. So don't be afraid turning the mix knob a bit more up on the reverb or delay settings, or using some modulation effects. We are killed by the 80s with a lot of chorus, but now we're done, so we can use chorus again, and it gives the tone something a bit more special.
Yes, absolutely, and it's. You can create interesting stuff there, because I hear it very often that some people think about the rock music is pretty how would you call it, defined what you can do in that rock setting, and hard rock and heavy metal and stuff like this, and so, I mean, it's great to have something that's familiar and where you feel happy and you feel at home when you hear certain sounds. But every once in a while, it's also great to reach out, because that's what Jimi Hendrix did as well. Yeah. He was always reaching out and trying to find something else, trying to create something else, and different worlds. And now we have this huge history of, rock, electronic, modern music, pop music, however you call the whole thing, and all the movies and the fashion that came with it, and the certain sounds really trigger your memory, and you are there basically, and that's a cool thing as well. So thank you really for taking the extra effort to create a world that's far away from where we are here right now, and share with us what ingredients you were using for this, just based on a simple, tweet tone from the factory content. No, one that you created, right?
Yeah. It's some, maybe if I give it to the factory content, no problem.
Okay.
It was just an attempt to make a profile.
Yeah, but at this point, again, if you would use the settings you can see in the video that Thomas did, and use it with your most favorable amp tone, that might give you a slightly different result, but also then it's yours, and maybe that's also interesting. So everything is possible, and these are all just suggestions and hopefully some inspiration for you to get creative with the Kemper effects. And again, I think if you have not anything to add to this episode 3 of That Tone Show, go over to YouTube and check out the video. We could wrap it up this time and just ask you again, let us know what you think, let us know what you want to know, and we'll see you next time with episode 4, and have a look at this. Wish you a great week or weeks. We don't know yet when we come back, but soon, of course. And thanks again to Thomas for creating these videos, creating these tones, and creating the music that goes with it.
Bye, and see you next time.
Ciao.